Welcome back, everyone, to the 5-9 Gaming Podcast, which we actually finally have a name for. I'm going to introduce it now. Kind of. It is what it is, whatever. A bad intro, whatever. It is what it is. We now can officially announce the 5-9 Waypoint Podcast. That was a terrible introduction. I don't care, though. I'm tired. We're going to keep moving through, though, because I know the guys here want to go back and play Pokemon. As usual, I'm joined by the one and only Lethal, PlatinumChin, and LittleBobby. Go and say hello, guys.
What up? What up? What up?
How's it going?
Hello.
Great intros. You love to see it. So anyway, guys, we got about 4 to 5 topics to really talk about today and really dig into, because there was some big news that happened within the last 2 weeks, and I don't think anyone expected. So let's just get straight into it. First off, Microsoft buys Activision for basically $70 billion. Wow, Microsoft just throwing the money everywhere you want there right now. So I'm pretty sure everyone's heard about this by now. If you haven't, I'm a little shocked. But yeah, Microsoft bought Activision. So guys, thoughts on this? Because there's lots of people freaking out that certain games are not going to become exclusive to Xbox. And, you know, it's actually kind of funny that now Xbox owns 2 IPs that originally started on Sony, and just, yeah, people are still freaking out to this day. It's not really going to go into effect, though, until probably like 2023, because they have to like go through the government and everything to make sure everything is properly processed and everything like that. But regardless, what are your guys' thoughts on it?
It's a big deal. Especially if you're like a PlayStation
Pun
person.
intended?
Yeah, it's a pretty big deal. But you know, the big thing, right, is it all depends. It all depends how you know, I think personally at least, how Microsoft wants to go about this, right? How are they going to do this? There's obviously a lot of IP that got taken with, right, the whole Activision Blizzard, right? There's Arcane, right? There's all of Bethesda's properties, ZeniMax. There's so many. There's the big mobile thing. What's it called? King, I think it is. That's a huge one too. It goes, the listing of studios that are behind the Activision Blizzard branch is quite enormous, and it's not even like they acquired a developer. They acquired one of the biggest publishers in the game, if not one of the. I think it is like one of the biggest publishers in the game. So it's a pretty big deal, because I don't know about you guys, but that could potentially mean that, at least looking at the big games, I'm not too worried too much about some of the smaller titles, at least. But obviously the big one, right, it's Call of Duty. That's where everybody's eyes and attention goes to, because that's pretty much, right, what Activision is known for. It's just known as Call of Duty for the most part.
Yeah,
aside
nowadays.
from Blizzard. Yeah. So that is the big one. So I guess I'll toss it back to you guys. I mean, Call of Duty potentially staying on potentially in the future, right? Because we already know they've already put out, they already put out that, for one, I didn't know a Warzone 2 was happening. And well, guys, guess what? If you didn't know, now you know. Warzone 2 is happening, and that is promised to still remain on the PlayStation platform, along with, I believe, the next 2 Call of Duties, or just the next Call of Duty. I think it's at least 1 or 2 more Call of Duties for sure will be still coming to PlayStation. But you know, the big question is, after that, what happens?
Well, there's Warzone 2 for actually, like, a second.
Yeah.
Why?
There's going to be a Warzone. There's a Warzone 2 in the works, but I think think it's mostly because of current gen consoles. Yeah,
it's only meant to be next gen and PC.
Yeah.
It's not meant to be on the PS4 and Xbox One.
You don't see Fortnite being like Fortnite 2. I mean, technically there is Fortnite. I guess there already is Fortnite 2 now with like the new
they've basically done
thing.
Fortnite Chapter 2, Chapter 3 are basically Fortnite 2.
I guess,
Fortnite 3.
They put it out as Warzone 2, but that's probably how it is. It's more like, the next whatever for Warzone.
Terrible naming scheme. It's like Destiny 2. I thought that was the dumbest thing. I still think calling it Destiny 2 is so stupid. It should all just be one Destiny, but like Warzone 2 would be even worse. I don't know.
Well, that was funny enough, a whole thing. That was with Activision. They were like, you must release a separate game. But we'll talk about some more of that a little later. You know, with this Microsoft and Activision thing, it's kind of crazy how many people are taking what was his name? Phil Spencer, right?
Yeah.
Phil Spencer at his word of going, no, we're just going to let everything be on our competitor platforms. You don't spend $70 billion to not have exclusivity on your thing. You don't.
Or some form of it at least, right? Like, obviously we know they've already come out time and time again saying, look, we're honoring the current contracts that have already been in place for a while, which makes sense, right? they're gonna be like, all right, yeah, these games are gonna be on the other platforms, and so those contracts are done. But once that's up, they have no obligation to be like, no. You know what? Out of the goodness of our hearts, we are gonna keep doing this. No. They're gonna be like, yeah, no, this is going on Game Pass. This is going, first party, or if there is a slither of hope that maybe they do put other stuff on other platforms, it will definitely be something like, for the first year or so, it's going to be on Xbox / Game Pass.
Yeah.
And
Or
then maybe it comes to something,
Or it's going to cost Sony
I
a lot of money to be able to get those things.
No, what they want that Game Pass on Sony. That's what it is. That's
they
the
do.
kicker.
Well,
that's why when you look at the wording is like if you look at Phil Spencer's tweet, his tweet after a lot of like people analyzing it, you pick up on those words, right? It's their intent to desire to have the game on that platform with Sony. So like it's kind of obvious that like, hey, we want to put it over there, but we also want you to put Game Pass on your console, and
exactly, because
how's that gonna work out?
It's almost, I don't know if I call it like a galaxy brain move or anything like that, but it's definitely a move where they're like, oh yeah, no, don't worry, this is also on PlayStation, but then they can sneakily like advertise Game Pass on there, right? And then all of a sudden they got you hooked because you're going to see exactly how many games are on there. And now some might argue that with Sony's rumored or thing that they're the Game Pass equivalent they're working on right now, which we still don't know really any details about aside from the leaks, is that going to be enough to keep people not signing onto the Game Pass bandwagon, or is it too little too late? So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen there.
Well, another thing that you guys mentioned earlier is like, hey, Warzone 2, why? Well, Warzone 2 is not under a contract. Warzone is under a contract, right? Which they said, oh, we want to honor all existing contracts.
Right.
So if Warzone 2 is not...
Warzone 2, is it? I thought they said it's going to PlayStation, though.
They say a lot.
I don't know. I think it's already there's already like a deal or a contract or something set in place.
Right.
That was something that was already happening.
Okay.
I think it's the stuff that hasn't, kind of happened yet. So like right now, whatever they're working on, I think Call of Duty period is still fair game for PlayStation. It's anything that's brand new, I think past like this merger deal and like past 2023. So like 2024 or whatever, I think that's fair game to be exclusive content.
Oh yeah, easily. Yeah. And again, I know people don't like to hear it, but you don't spend that type of money.
Yep.
And they have to recoup that investment somehow. Yeah. And how do you do it? You start advertising on your competitor's platform, and then eventually those things become platform exclusives. We'll go in there because, I think I saw that Microsoft does not make its money from console sales, right? No. Like that's like pennies in the water for them essentially. They get a lot of their money from their subscription services and all that other stuff.
Yep.
So.
I mean, let's be real. Xbox has, as a platform, like the Microsoft gaming division, I don't think has actually ever been super profitable ever. Even when 360 was like the main thing, right? It was still the hardware was costing them so much compared to what they were getting, like charging people, and then all the advertising and stuff they had to pay for. Like they cut it razor thin. And they have been open and say, yeah, we don't make money on hardware, right? Whereas Sony has said, yeah, we're already turning a profit on the PS5, even though we can't get as many out as people would want. Like Microsoft's subscription services are what's carrying the gaming division right now. And even then, their profits, from my understanding, are still very, very thin, right? They never talk about profits. They talk about users, right? They go, hey, we have 25 million users on Game Pass, which that's a good number, but you never hear like that gets us, that makes us this amount of revenue. Because they have to pay for servers, they have to, they have all that overhead. They pay the companies for games that people might not end up buying, So they don't get, they don't get as much as they could. Hopefully they can turn Activision and Blizzard acquisition into something that's really profitable for them, right? If now they have all those skins and stuff for Call of Duty, I'm sure that alone was probably a big thing that had them going, oh, we could probably make some money on that.
Well, not to mention all the mobile stuff, right? They
and
literally
the
acquired
too.
one of the biggest mobile guys, and they're like, you know what? We're gonna start raking in some of that profit now. Even if they simply don't really do anything and just say, all right, guys, keep doing what you're doing. they get that now, right? So that's going to be some big dollar signs in their favor right there. Plus,
Like
again,
they
it's
own
Microsoft,
Candy Crush
right?
now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, they do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like that
They're
alone
huge.
is gonna pay for itself in like 3 years.
Say
Like,
goodbye to
Exactly.
Candy Crush on iOS now, you know?
ooh.
Only Microsoft phones. That's the only thing that's going to have Candy Crush.
I know. Ugh.
But I don't even know what that
Okay,
looks like.
Awful.
For
Damn,
the
that
same
would be
reason that
Windows
Game
phones.
Pass isn't going to make me buy an Xbox, Candy Crush is definitely not going to make me buy a Microsoft phone. Let's just be real.
That sounds very enticing. I don't know.
You know, and another thing a part of this deal too is that, you know, it's one thing to look at, you know, what studios and what is this whole acquisition going to be giving them, but there's the whole other aspect of it that it's like, you know, we're acting as if Activision Blizzard isn't going through some crazy stuff right now.
I wanted to say
Like,
that too.
yeah,
Yep,
that's the
exactly.
other part of it. That's like, whoa, what a big buyout, but at such an interesting time because, you know, Activision Blizzard, as we all know, it's going through it right now. You know, there's a lot going on over there.
And then the big
go
thing
ahead.
was Microsoft coming out and going, "Yeah, we're going to keep Bobby Kotick." I was like,
And he's like, he's going to report to Phil Spencer, and you're like,
Yeah,
oh, excuse me?
temporarily for the
Yeah.
year until
They-
the deal goes through.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the way
Yeah,
it's
so
supposed to
they-
say. We don't
Exactly.
know
Yeah, you had it
exactly
there.
It
what
has to
happens
only
after.
be till then because there's just no way.
"Yeah,
Yeah, there's
You can't-
absolutely
you
no
can't
way.
keep
The way
that guy on.
They have to play nice for now, right, in the public's eye, right? They'd be like, oh no, you know, we're still letting him come on and all this other stuff, you know, because the deal hasn't gone through yet, right?
yeah."
They could pull out at the last minute if they wanted to, or something goes awry or whatever, right? But the moment it's all set in stone and it is all folded in, he's gone. There's no way they're keeping him around.
Because I mean, not only is all that going on right now, and like Activision looks bad just for the public eye like that, but like also
Oh, yeah.
just their games in general have been very piss poor lately. Like there's just no like
for
you look
years.
at Activision and you just don't see anything redeeming, and the fact that it cost them $70 billion for such a company in like the shit tank right now, like it's
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, they bought Bethesda, right, and all that for what 7 point whatever billion last
yeah.
year,
7
okay.
billion, give
Yeah.
or take.
right? And like all due respect, like what do they have? Yeah, sure they have Skyrim, which they can always re-release and sell, but other than that, it's like Fallout 4,
And they will.
Yeah,
Fallout
but here's the
76.
thing. Here's the thing with Bethesda. Even though they've released Skyrim like 20 times now, even though Fallout 4 was okay and 76 was mediocre, you still have so many people who are like, I love them. Like they're going to come out with Elder Scrolls 6. They're going to come out with Fallout 5, and they're coming out with Starfield and like Outer Worlds 2, like different things like that. That like, because Outer Worlds was great.
Outer
Oh,
Worlds
that
was
wasn't
great.
Bethesda.
I will give
Was
you
it? It was Obsidian.
Wait, no, that's Obsidian. Yeah,
Yeah,
Obsidian.
Obsidian is
No.
there.
But is
Yeah.
there with Bethesda.
Obsidian worked with
Bethesda.
Obsidian is there? No, I thought they were
No.
independent, weren't they?
I thought Obsidian was with Microsoft.
They are with
No, I
Microsoft.
thought
Pretty sure they are with
Did they
Microsoft.
buy
Yeah.
them
Are they?
separately?
Oh.
They bought them separately, right? Or did Obsidian? No, because ZeniMax and Bethesda came together, right?
Yeah, because I think it
Obsidian
came
was
with the whole
separate.
thing.
Obsidian was separate.
I don't know.
You know, I don't
Regardless,
know.
Microsoft has them.
Regardless,
Microsoft
yeah.
has them.
Microsoft
yeah.
has them, and like honestly, I still love Bethesda. Like they don't. Are they a little? It seems a little lazy lately. Yeah, but also they're one of the companies like Rockstar, for instance, that it's like it takes them like 1,000 years to work on a game. You know what I
But
mean? Like
but
Yeah,
Rockstar when Rockstar takes
especially after
1,000
76.
yeah, when Rockstar takes 1,000 years too, you get like Red Dead,
Red
2,
Dead 2.
and GTA
Yeah.
5.
That's
like
true.
you don't get
Yeah.
Fallout 76 and Fallout 4 and like
that's fair. That's
Well,
very. That's
it'll
very
be really
fair.
interesting to see what happens when Starfield comes out. Right, that's gonna be like the
Right.
big one where
Yeah.
this is pretty much the first big game. I'm saying big here with quotations, but it's the big release that everyone's waiting to see, because if it works and this thing sells like wildfire and everything, then it shows that investment was good. And they're gonna be pushing forward
Yeah.
to have even more games out and
that's
everything.
Bethesda. Like just Bethesda's like first new IP in like I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Like they've
Yeah.
published
Yeah.
a million
And
different
it's
things,
under
right?
Microsoft
like,
now,
They've published
so-
a million different
Yeah, yeah.
things, but like their
I mean,
personal
we
IP.
just got Deathloop and stuff.
Yeah, but like Deathloop's by they published that. They didn't like they're not the developers like they would be with like Starfield. You know what I mean? Because like who
and that was funded by Sony. Right?
was funded
that
by
was
Sony.
funded-
Bethesda Studio. Arcane,
even when
yeah.
even when
Arcane, yeah,
Deathloop
that
won
it
the
is.
awards and they came up and were like, "Thank you, Sony."
Yeah.
Like they at the Game Awards, I was like, damn, that's kind of a burn.
And Sony's getting another one too, Ghostwire Tokyo, which we're gonna learn more about tomorrow, by the way, or the day after this
Wait,
recording.
who's doing a Ghostwire?
It's also another Bethesda title.
Oh,
I don't know which studio is doing it, but I just know it's a Bethesda studio. It's one of the last ones that PlayStation's getting, I think, if not the last game they're getting.
That's insane.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, Sony got the like absolute heat out of their last couple things that they're involved with. Because Ghostwire Tokyo looks really cool.
I'm excited for it. Yeah. Hopefully it's good.
Hopefully it's good. I'm gonna wait on that because I have way too much money to spend this month. Watch our video, by the way. If you're watching this, go watch our upcoming video, our upcoming games video for February.
Yeah, top right corner, guys.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, top right corner. Yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope I'm on the right
lots
side.
of games coming out. By the way, shout out to our editor Stray again for those awesome edits.
We stand
Always. Straight. We stand Stray.
Jonathan's
All right,
gonna be mad.
So, yeah. But
we love you
anyway,
too, Jonathan.
So we have Microsoft buying Activision, and then all of a sudden, literally the day before February starts, we find out that Sony has acquired Bungie now. And no, this was not some reaction because this plan has been in the works for 6 months. Microsoft and Activision, that was for 2 months. Bungie and Sony were for 6 months. Now, they've always had a pretty decent relationship even in the past. I mean, there was some of that exclusive stuff that we saw through like Destiny and everything for the PlayStation only at the beginning of some of their games. But this was a little different though because this was for, how much was it? $3.6 billion?
It was like 3.6.
Yeah,
$3.6 billion. But Bungie is allowed to keep all their current Destiny game and even future titles multi-platform.
And I'm going to say this again, for now.
For now. They say that. Now,
I think
the other side of this, though,
It was a lot more clear
is the
than
fact that they
Microsoft, though, like when they
right.
said
Oh,
it's
they
gonna
were.
be-
They literally
That's
they
what I
had a
like about
Q&A
that, too.
thing, right?
They were
so
very
on that.
clear about it. So
That was on both sides. That was Bungie themselves being like, "Hey, this," and then Sony themselves like multiple times saying it. Like, yeah, they're gonna stay, independent as well as have the ability to self-publish should they desire, and then multi-platform. It's pretty interesting.
Now, the interesting thing with them though is the fact that there's a couple of different things that they're getting out of this. I would say compared to what Microsoft gets from Activision. First off, they're getting a lot of stuff that has to do with like TV stuff, right? Because Bungie has been going into this whole like TV realm of like Destiny and other things that they're trying to create and everything like that. So they are getting the rights to that and, some of the, benefits of that kind of income coming in. And then also with how much money and stuff that Destiny makes now, some of that is going to be going to Sony, right?
Yeah.
They'll be keeping it multi-platform and everything, but they even talked about wanting to do like live service stuff. Love or hate it, Destiny is one of the biggest live service games in the industry right now, at least on consoles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
And PC too.
Sony's gonna be getting some of that
has
money
more,
back.
They put out a report a day or two ago that was like Destiny gets about like at the end of the season where people are just like, I'm done with this until the next thing comes out. It still had almost 900,000 players in a day, and there were more on PC than on Xbox.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like there's a ton of people who play Destiny. Me and Tallen and Chin all play Destiny, right? Like it's
Join the 5-9 clan.
join the 5-9 clan. If you look at Destiny and its history, it has always started rocky, and then it just gets better. And right now, they're about to do the Witch Queen. They just put out a thing, I think today, that said 1 million people
have pre-ordered
Witch
it.
Queen,
Yep.
right? This is hot off the heels of the thing with Sony. And one of the things that people are talking about is that, the last time they had the power and ability to do something crazy, they gave us Forsaken, right? And that was the last thing they did with Activision. Well, now, if they do have a good relationship with Sony and they can get that funding and go, hey, Sony, look, we're going to try and, Witch Queen did well. We're going to try and make it bigger and badder for, Lightfall and Final Shape, right? Like,
Something like that, yeah.
give it to me, Bungie, please. And Sony, just let them do their thing because when Sony...
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, when Sony like acquires a company, they want that company to do its thing, right?
Right.
And they want to empower that company to do its thing, right? Which is, like when people talk about Microvision acquisition, Microsoft, Microsoft and Activision versus like Sony and Bungie, right? Microsoft is clearly trying to lock up Call of Duty. Let's be real. They are absolutely trying to lock up Call of Duty because it's an IP that they know makes money. They're chasing that money. And I'm sure Sony and Bungie, it's part of that. But Sony also goes like, hey, Bungie, aside from making us money, they can give us insight to how live service works, to how first-person shooters can be developed, right?
Yeah, not to mention Bungie's supposed new first-person shooter. They are currently, it's a multiplayer game, right?
Yeah.
Is in the works. We don't know anything about it, but there is something being made. Plus, Bungie's been going on a huge hiring spree. So
they're
going to benefit from that. They are going to benefit from that.
Yeah, they even said, hey, now we're going to be hiring way more people, right? And they were already hiring a ton of people, which is crazy, right? They built a new headquarters in Europe, I think, like in Germany or something. They redid their entire headquarters in Seattle. Like, and now they're going to have more money to hire more people, right? Which is just wild.
Exactly. And then not to mention the fact that Bungie is, again, love or hate Destiny or anything you want, but they're the creators of Halo. They know first-person shooter mechanics. I have friends who have, left Destiny, come back, left it again, or just left it entirely. They don't care about it. One thing they always say, though, they love the gunplay.
Yep.
Because Bungie knows how to do it. And if they're going to make a first-person shooter game, now I know they technically said it will still be multi-platform and everything, but you can bet it's going to have some kind of live service stuff in it. It's going to have some potential PlayStation exclusives, even if it's small stuff like skins or something like that, like not maps or anything, but like skins. That money, it's all going to Sony. Right?
And imagine like let's say Spartacus comes out, they can go, hey, if you have Spartacus Tier 2, you're going to get like 500 silver a month.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, something like that. Right.
Yeah, right. You can
have
do that.
to know that plays into that too. Like this is a deal. This is a deal that's obviously not just to get that property, right, and not to get that experience, but we already know that Sony's is working on their own subscription, service model. So obviously this is this is something to help put for that.
Exactly.
Easily.
I also think I can advertise with that.
It'll be cool, if Talent's what they're like trying to get, maybe they can revive some of their like I think we talked this last time, like the other old FPSs that they've let just die, like Killzone, Resistance, and things like that. Maybe bring them back in a new way,
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, they said that. I forget. Was it Jim Ryan that said it? It was in one of the. I think it was maybe Herman Holst. Herman Holst, head of PlayStation Studios. He said that Bungie, they said that they're willing to work on some of the first party properties from Sony. So you already know, aside from whatever they're working on and whatever talent that they bring in, I don't think we said it yet, but like Sony has already a lot of the studios. I think it's Insomniac. We already know Naughty Dog is working on a multiplayer game, but Sucker Punch is working on another one. A lot of the first party studios that we know and love are actually working on multiplayer projects. And so they even said it, I think it was today or yesterday, that PlayStation in their earnings call, they pretty much said they're working on 10 live service games by the end of 2026.
That's insane.
And so they want to do 10. And that means they're obviously be doing a lot, but it's interesting because you're looking at them at least trying to use some of the, probably I would make the most sense, some of their first party properties that they have now. Like imagine an Insomniac live service Spider-Man game. Will it be like a multiverse type of thing, like a Spider-Verse, a multiplayer game? I mean, how else would you do that? But that's one way of doing it. But the point is, they have Bungie that's going to be working with a lot of the first party studios. So PlayStation, I like what they're saying. By the end of 2026, they're going to pop off with a bunch of multiplayer games. And they have so many in the works. There's so many even other outsourced projects too that are in the works.
What I think so crazy about them. Oh, go for it.
No, go ahead, man. By all means.
What's so exciting about that is I remember seeing especially when the consoles were announced, like these next gen ones, like the first year. A big thing like the console war, annoying fanboy thing was oh, Sony only has single player things and Microsoft's got all the best multiplayer stuff, and it's okay, well now Sony has Bungie, who's probably one of the best developers at multiplayer. I mean, in the past 2 decades. I mean, Halo, Destiny, and they could just use, and exactly what they said was to use that expertise. And now it's and it just goes back to what you said, Bobby, they want to foster these companies to let them do what they're good at, because that is what's going to drive people to PlayStation, rather than saying, oh, we got Call of Duty. Well, it's what's Call of Duty going to mean if, they have another Vanguard style release, really weak numbers, and Sony's coming out with banger FPSs and things like that. You know what I mean?
I'm 100% going to agree with you. And I'm also 100% going to qualify the next statement by saying that, yes, I'm a PlayStation fanboy. But
Yeah, baby, join the club.
look what happened when Bungie handed Halo to Microsoft. Look what happened. Like, realistically, Halo has fallen apart. Even Infinite is like, it's losing viewers on Twitch. There's not a lot of people playing it. Like, you check Steam charts, it's got a quarter of the people that play Destiny in a dead part of Destiny, and it's Halo.
Yeah,
it
Destiny's
just
been
came
dead
out,
for quite a couple months,
And it's free.
Yeah.
and it's free. And people aren't playing the multiplayer. Like, it's like, wow.
The game as a service model is difficult. Like, I hope people understand that too. Like, you're talking about, these next 10 that PlayStation does could be flops. You have no idea.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
if people don't stay
It could
with
be
it
awful.
and they don't do it right, they don't drop the content when it needs to be dropped. Like, look at Marvel's Avengers. I know I played it. I know Bobby has played. Bobby, I know how much you still like it to this day.
I do
but
enjoy it. I
Bobby,
haven't
so
been
you
playing
know,
it as much.
It could have been
Fun,
better. It
though.
could have been so much
No,
better.
it could. It is very fun, but I at the same time I go, you know what? If I want like real live service grind, I go to Destiny.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I'm
also,
sorry, like
live service, like look at Battlefield. It literally died.
Oh,
you guys
dude,
saw
don't
that
even
stuff?
start
We're like,
on
hey,
that.
sorry,
By the way,
the
we'll have a
first
video on that, by the way, don't worry.
Give us thoughts
is
on
getting
that one.
pushed back a couple months, and you're like,
how do
your
you
game's
push
already
back the
dead.
first season?
How do you have a worse
Because
launch
their
than
game
Cyberpunk
is
2077
trash right now.
How? How
Okay,
do you
okay,
do
we're
worse
going
than
off. We're going
Cyberpunk?
off on a side. We're gonna go off on a side topic here real quick because we didn't even have it on our list. But I got to talk about Battlefield World because I know it's the hot topic right now. Okay,
Yes.
I have to. I'm sorry. Okay,
You have to. It's sad.
I have to. Okay, dude, longtime Battlefield fan here. I've been playing Battlefield since Bad Company 2. I played all the games and never in my life. I mean, it's oh my god. It hurts me so much to say that. Obviously, it's pretty obvious that the dice from those games is not the dice now. That's pretty obvious, right? People leave to go off on different platforms, different
Absolutely.
programs, all that stuff, right? But this is just absolutely sad. I feel like what I'm looking at now, this dice that I'm looking at is just who EA has hired, not who dice themselves is. And all
the
they
same thing with
are a bunch of
BioWare,
yes
man.
boys. Right. And they're a bunch of yes
BioWare.
boys who are just like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. We'll do this. Even though the fans are going to eat us alive, basically.
I want to
And-
say that I feel honored that your first Battlefield was the one that I got to work on.
Back on me too, dude. Back on
Yeah,
me too
you
was
did
awesome.
work on that.
Back on me too was
I-
Bad
awesome.
Company 1 was my first one, and then like I loved that game.
People,
Yeah.
it makes me so sad because people like EA's bad. Let's be realistic; they're just bad. They take stuff that has good potential, and
Except for Respawn.
they
That's
just
all.
except for Respawn, who we stand Respawn
Those are
just
the-
as much as
always
we
studio
stand.
We stand
Right.
underneath.
We
Yeah,
stand
okay.
Respawn.
We
And you
stand
know what?
Respawn, that's it. Sorry.
You mentioned that Bungie Destiny 2 has like the best gunplay. I agree, except for Titanfall 2, which has the best.
Titanfall 2
Yeah,
had some
Titanfall
amazing
2 is
gunplay.
gunplay.
That
Yeah.
game was peak FPS. It just came out
miss- It
at
was.
the
I miss
worst time.
Titanfall.
It came
Yes,
between
I miss
what?
Whose fault
It
was that?
it was-
Whose fault was that? It was EA's fault.
It was EA's
Well, and it
fault.
came out between what?
100% EA's
Black
fault.
Ops 3 and Battlefield 1
It
or
was
something like
literally
that.
sandwiched between it was sandwiched between Battlefield 1 and Black Ops 3 at the time. Everyone sit here going like,
Black Ops
what
4 or
are
something
you
like that,
doing?
whatever.
It was actually
matter.
it was actually a good
Whatever.
idea at first because they wanted it to challenge Call of Duty, right? Because it feels very Call of Duty, except with
Feels so
fucking-
much better.
Just way cooler.
fucking titans
mechs.
that you get to summon and do all this awesome stuff
they
with.
call
Call
it-
of
they
Duty and Gundam
underestimated
had a
a few
love child.
things,
It was
though.
awesome.
Well, no, but you're right. It came out between Call of Duty and Battlefield. But the thing was, Battlefield was supposed to release in like April or something or March that year, and then it got delayed. It got pushed back, and so it came out right after Titanfall. So
Well,
these
the
people,
other thing. God, sorry.
I was gonna say these people who are like, hey, there looks like this new Call of Duty competitor that looks really cool. I had heard good things about the multiplayer in the first one, and they added a story in this one, and the story's supposedly great. But now I have to buy Battlefield 2 because I love both those franchises, and I can't really afford Titanfall at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And not to mention another thing that I saw over the years after the game had flopped, unfortunately, in sales and everything, was the fact that the first one was on Xbox. They didn't market it the greatest to say like, hey, this is now on PlayStation now as well, right? A lot of
that's the
people
other thing.
to this day still thought that Titanfall was only on Xbox. Right.
I actually played the first Titanfall for me and my roommate. We would just come home after work and we would, like have a beer, and we would just trade the controller back and forth playing the first Titanfall. We loved it, and he had an Xbox One, and then like we played it for like 650, 700 hours together. Like we played that game every day for almost a year, right? And it ended up like when Titanfall 2 came out, and I was like, oh man, that's a bummer. And then I found out, like doing research, because you know I've always been one to like look up like those upcoming games lists and things like that. That's why we do the videos here, guys. Is like, you know, like, oh, it's coming to PlayStation 2, and I didn't really see it in the marketing or anything.
Right.
I found it out like in this like unofficial like Game Informer article
which a majority of players don't look at. They, you know, they just, you know, if they don't see the trailer or something on YouTube from the main people, they're not going to hear about it, right? Or even your average player who doesn't even watch YouTube content for video games or does that research stuff, they never know about it. So
marketing's huge. I had a friend who texted me the other day, was like, why didn't y'all tell me a new Pokemon game came out, talking about Arceus? And we're like, how on earth did you not see anything about this game? He's like, I don't know, I just didn't. I had no idea. And I'm like, I was just baffled.
Dude,
they were like flying banners, like
it was on TV, like it was everywhere.
They're flying banners playing Katy Perry's Firework like out of a loudspeaker from a blimp with Arceus on it. Like how?
I couldn't believe it. I was baffled. But like it just goes to show, you know, you can baffling. If you don't, even if you put in every ounce of advertisement, people could still miss it. So like Titanfall 2 just fell through like the biggest crack on the planet.
It's like I said earlier, like the majority of people realistically don't pay attention. Like how many people did me and Lethal say we saw talking about Bungie owns Halo, so it's going to PlayStation now, right? Like people don't pay attention, even though they may love the game, right? Guys, we're a special breed. And if you're listening to this, you're a special breed. You're a nerd, right? Like you love games and you look into the shit you want to know about.
Research.
And like you research and you know, so we know that. And that's why we talk about this stuff, because if you're listening and you don't know that, hopefully you can learn something.
Yep. Exactly. But anyway, regardless, we went off a bit of tangent there because of Battlefield. And I'm gonna have a video on we're gonna have a video up on the 5-9 channel later on, probably next week, about all this Battlefield stuff, because I got some words to say. I've got some words to say on this topic.
I cannot wait for this video, Tallen.
Yeah,
like, I'm so hyped for your video.
I will. Don't worry. I'll tweet out and everything. You'll see it. But regardless, though, with Sony having now bought Bungie, another thing that we'll talk on. We've talked about it a lot already. But the one last thing I do want to bring up is the fact that Sony also talked about how we should expect some more news sometime down the line about more companies or developers or something that they are acquiring as well. So this is not over, not by a long shot. This is not over.
It's acquisition season. That's what
I'll tell you right now. I'm Babe Ruthing it. I'm Babe Ruthing it. It's gonna be Square.
You think?
I'm Babe Ruthing it. It's gonna be Square.
I think they don't even have to worry about
Konami.
Square. They got Square.
Konami, dude, I'd be down for Konami.
Some more Metal Gear Solid.
Get Konami out. Get those games away from Konami. Give them to a real.
Take back Metal Gear and give it to
Konami.
Kojima.
Yes,
give it
buy
back.
Konami, and you say, "Hey, we're gonna handle this. You come on board, Kojima." Like we got like.
Oh, that would be huge.
Who cares about? I don't know. I wouldn't even care. I would never care about Call of Duty. Are you kidding me?
What if they acquired Kojima Studios though?
I thought about that,
and they were like, "Hey, Kojima, here's all the money. Make whatever the hell you want." And then we're good for like another decade and a half.
I think he likes staying independent, though. I think after the whole thing with Konami, I think he's like done working with these big publishers. I think personally.
But the thing is like Sony helped him right with Death Stranding. Yeah, they've always had a great working relationship. He is up there now. What, he's like 58, right? He's going to retire in the next 10, 15 years, 100%. And good for him. Like he's given us some of the best stuff that we've ever played. He's worked his ass off for years. Let the man rest.
Metal Gear Solid 1's one of the greatest games of all time still,
but
dude.
Let him, with his production company, get that bag.
I know.
Like, let the man get his bag and retire.
Konami and Kojima, though, because I want him to be able to make more Metal Gear Solid if he wants. Because, like, 5 did not go the way he wanted, you know? Like, he was, you know, and I would love for him to...
He wasn't even a part of it, right?
Well, he was. He was. Oh, he was.
But until he left, right? That wasn't until...
Yeah, and they didn't even let him go and accept his Game Awards or anything. Like, barred him from everything. And like,
it was crazy. Yeah, I remember all that. Yeah.
His
I want to... want to bring up one thing back on the Sony buys Bungie real quick. Y'all remember the big hullabaloo a few months ago about how Destiny 2's like expansions and stuff were coming off of Game Pass?
Yeah.
All that makes sense now.
It all makes sense now. Yeah, it does.
Now Sony can be like, hey, you want the expansions? You got to buy them from us.
You have to imagine, though, too, like, I feel like, you know, in the back end business side of everything, there's got to be talks. Like there's got to be talks. Like I can imagine, you know, being in the Sony headquarters, being in the main building, and you know, one of the guys from the office comes in and is like, "Yo, I heard Microsoft is buying Activision Blizzard." Like I can only imagine it's going down like that in the back end. So that's why, like, when these announcements happen, this is stuff that's, you know, again, it takes like months before these deals to happen. But you have to imagine there's some type of, like, you know, background thing where, you know, talk is spread. And they, you know, some of these deals are probably known way in advance. And so I think, you know, that's why these not why the acquisitions happen, but why some of these moves, I think, do happen sometimes.
Also,
you know,
from what I've seen, is I'm pretty sure Destiny is Phil Spencer's favorite game.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, which is kind of a funny thing for Sony to buy.
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty funny.
But here's one other thing that's wild about what you said, Lethal, right? There's those back alley talks that are happening in these companies, right? Mm-hmm. And I mean, like, when I worked at EA, right, we had stuff like that of like, oh, I'm hearing something about this, something about that, right? And you kind of take some of it with a grain of salt because some of it would be ridiculous. But I'm just flabbergasted, excuse my old man word, but I'm amazed that there was no leak or thing like that about Sony and Bungie or about Microsoft and Activision. Yeah. Like, how did no one talk really about that?
Especially if it's like 6 months long. Like,
like the Sony Bungie one's like crazy because it was 6 months long. But like, if you're an Activision and you hear like, hey, Microsoft might buy us, right? I would be like, oh, shit. You know,
that is pretty interesting.
Like wow, how do you not like spill that? I mean, obviously you'll get sued, but no.
Hey, Andrew Garfield, not going to talk about it. Wait, how long has it been?
No, it's been long enough. So long,
it's been long
dude.
enough. Andrew Garfield was so tight-lipped about being in Spider-Man, so like
there's already official pictures out. It's done.
It's possible.
Technically, like there's stuff that happened at EA that I cannot talk about, even though it was. How long ago? 13, 14 years ago that I worked there.
Tell us now.
Like,
tell us now.
I like not being sued by a giant mega publisher, so I'm gonna go with a no.
Just wait until EA eventually gets bought out by somebody, and then
oh god,
EA's gonna get bought out by Disney, 100%.
No, it's gonna be like Tencent or Amazon or something.
Oh god,
I would believe 10
funny?
cent.
That's the other that's the other topic too. I mean, we don't have to go into it or anything, but you know, it is a big thing of like corporate consolidation, right? It is about all these bigger companies buying these sometimes bigger companies, right? Hence Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard, and so like I think it was a tweet, I forget, I put a tweet out or something like that, and I got a comment, and it was about like, you know, I hate that all these like acquisitions are happening and stuff like that, and like all these stream services are happening, and I'm like, listen, it's kind of getting to that point now where the gaming industry is booming, right? When the pandemic happened, everything went down, but you know what went up? Gaming went up astronomically. And right now it is like I just said, it is acquisition season, because right now the money in gaming is so freaking crazy right now. And so it is, you know, you are going to start seeing a lot of these acquisitions happening. It's like the perfect time if you're a big company or you're just in this space to start doing stuff like that. And so the question does come, and this is why my response on Twitter was like, you know, you have to start thinking of it like this, like it's getting to that point now where who do you want to start seeing acquiring these studios? You know, people are getting into the gaming space,
That's
you know,
true.
more heavily now. You're seeing Amazon get into it slowly. You know, Apple's been working on it, whatever the hell is going on with Apple Arcade, I don't even know, but Apple was working on it at one point, right? And we talk about there's just the other bigger ones like Tencent and all of them. Like it's getting to a point now where who do you want to be able to own some of these studios? Because, you know, all it takes is for a fat freaking check, you know, to come to these corporate leaders and be like, listen, you're worth $6 billion, but we'll give you, you know, here's Facebook or Meta, what do they call Meta? Here's Meta. Here's 50 billion. Take it or leave it. You know what I mean? Like you have to remember, this is all business too. So it does get to a point where you have to kind of think, who do you want to, you know, hold some of these companies and some of these studios? Exactly. And so for me, I will always vouch for, at least for the gaming space, to keep it within the three main, in my opinion, the three main pillars of gaming, which is like Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft.
Always.
I'd hate to see any of these go to something where we don't want it to go to. And so as much as it sucks, I'd much rather these acquisitions happen with, these, companies that we're well known with and we feel comfortable with and stuff like that. So, just always keep that in mind too. When you start seeing these deals, you're not happy about it. Just think it could have been worse, or it could go somewhere you don't want it to go.
That's true.
Keep that in mind.
I could easily see though Sony buying Square though, like what we talked about a little bit.
Yeah,
I could see it happening. I could actually,
Well,
especially because they're both, they both have main head stays here in Japan.
Yep.
Right? Like I can easily see that. I mean, heck, the actual Sony headquarters is only a 25-minute train ride away from where I am, and Square is just on, it's just a little bit further away. I'm just like, yeah, no, I could see it happening.
Final Fantasy VII
I'm telling you, before the end of this year. Yeah, before the end of this year, you're gonna see Sony acquire Square. I'm calling it now.
I wonder if it would be like a Bungie situation though, because again, I don't think Square really needs to. Like, I feel like Square games, for the most part, usually pop off and stuff like that. Like, I don't think they're such in a bad position they need to be acquired. But like we just talked about, it is getting to that point where all it takes is for someone to offer that huge ass check, and then it becomes a situation. But no, like, I don't know. Yeah, I was gonna say, if anything, I'd hope it'd be kind of like a Bungie kind of deal where they still remain, with their own creative intent. I don't know about the whole self-publishing thing. I think if PlayStation took them, they'd want that exclusivity.
Yeah, I do too.
But they already do.
Like,
that's the weird thing, is they already do. Like, most of those games literally stay and only go on PlayStation, because that's where their base is, anyways, for the most part.
Yeah, exactly.
The JRPG base is on PlayStation.
It was supposed to be a year exclusivity. It's how many years has it been? 2?
I think
it's been 2
when
years.
Intergrade came out, so they got an extra year because of Intergrade.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, not to mention, one thing I could easily see happening with this is, if Sony bought Square, kind of like how they did with Bungie, I think one of the big benefits would finally having Square get some decent PC ports, because their PC ports are not good. They just aren't. And Sony has been proving that they've been putting more and more of the first party stuff onto PC, and it's been ported well, right?
Yeah.
Horizon was not great when it came out.
Horizon was a little rocky, but they got it fixed. God of War,
Days Gone,
no problems. Go look at the reviews right
Days
now on
Gone
Steam.
Too. Yep.
Days Gone 2, Uncharted, right? Uncharted just came out.
Uncharted,
didn't it?
but the PC isn't out
It's
yet.
coming out. It's coming out. It's coming out.
PC's
You reminded me, I gotta buy that
right?
too, Talon. Thanks.
Right.
No, remember $10 upgrade. That's it.
I know, but still, that's $20 more on top of Horizon and
No, see, you play
Destiny.
one at a time. You do Uncharted 4, and then once you're done with that,
Regardless,
then you
though,
pay for
if again, this is all hypothetical, but if that all happens, though, I bet they benefit from that, especially for finally getting some of their games.
Maybe
on the
they
PC
fix,
properly.
they fix Avengers too.
Okay, that's
first
a
thing
miracle
Sony's
if
saying is
anything.
scrap that project. That's the first thing they're saying. They're saying, listen, we want to work on 10 more games as a service titles. Well, maybe we can work something out if that's the case.
Or they say, hey, this is going to Insomniac or something. I don't know.
it's funny because I don't
scrap it.
I like the fact that they
have
I was gonna say, I like the fact that they haven't given up on Avengers, right? Like they've been like Crystal Dynamics and Square have been trying to make that game work, and it's obvious, like I said earlier, like I don't play it as much anymore, but I'll still log in if they have an event, and I go, cool, I'll get like some new like gear, get a new nameplate, right? Some cosmetic stuff. Sometimes they'll sell really cool cosmetic, and I go, you know what? I gotta buy that. Like, I think today they just said they're doing the Endgame Ronin like suit, and I was like, cool, dude. Like, I might hop in and get that, right? But if imagine if Sony got Square and they were like, okay, now we've got people who got experience in live service. Bungie, talk to CD, right? Tell them how to fix this, right?
It's possible, but again, this is all hypothetical stuff that we're seeing. But regardless, though, the big takeaway is still Sony is not done. They are going to be acquiring more. Who?
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and find out. Make sure you guys sub the 5-9 Gaming Direct, and we'll let you guys know the moment we do. So,
speaking of Square,
speaking of Square, though, yeah, literally, thank you, Bobby. You go ahead, take it away, man, take it away.
Speaking of Square is celebrating the anniversary of 2 large IPs. Kingdom Hearts is 20 years old in 2022.
Yes.
And not quite an IP, but a legendary game, Final Fantasy VII, is 25 years old this year.
Dude, Kingdom Hearts for the win, bro.
Kingdom Hearts.
I'm so happy. It's we're finally getting some news. Any OG Kingdom Hearts fans, when it's that season,
I'm still gonna say keep your expectations low.
Always.
We've seen this before, where it's just some orchestra thing, or they're like, "Don't worry, we're working on this," and then nothing else.
It's time.
And then it's like something for the Switch cloud.
Some Switch cloud thing or something, or some mobile game. It's just like,
see, they did the cloud stuff early because they need to get back the crappy stuff. No one wanted to hear about that. That ruined everything. Yeah. Now the April 10th
it could be a mobile game. It could literally just be like, hey, Kingdom Hearts insert title mobile game would be done.
Kingdom Hearts bubble popping.
Do you know how
gotcha.
much money mobile stuff makes, regardless of how much we hate it?
It
makes a shit ton of money.
They did it. It's done. Unchained is done.
It's gonna be a Kingdom Hearts Smite collaboration. Just you watch.
No,
guaranteed, dude. Hey, they did
trailers.
They did Avatar: The Last Airbender and Korra. Like, Smite's up there, man. You might not like it.
How long has it been since Remind came out? 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah.
That was 2019, wasn't it? Before pandemic?
I think so. Yeah.
Very beginning of pandemic. Yeah, pre-pandemic. So it's been like 3 years. You have to imagine. I mean, see, you know what kills me is that 16. I don't know where the hell 16 is at. Nor do I know and how far in development they are even with that game anymore. But had we gotten more on 16, I would have felt more confident with like a big Kingdom Hearts, like a big Kingdom Hearts news thing. But the reason why I feel like I still think we're going to get something, but the reason why it might not be a really big thing is simply because of 16. And you have to think they're still working on 7 remake too. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. I think we'll still get something though. I think we'll get a teaser. I think we're due for a Kingdom Hearts teaser at the very least.
Keep expectations low though, because while it's not Square Enix, what did Nintendo do for Zelda?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
That was criminal.
Nothing.
That was
literally nothing.
Square has a lot to prove. They just announced NFTs. They have a lot to prove right now. They need Kingdom Hearts news to rectify a lot of mistakes.
Sony needs to acquire Square and go, nah, on the NFTs. Like, no.
I'm afraid
NFT stands for no fucking thank you. That's what that stands for.
Right.
There we go. And speaking of the other game that you talked about, which is Final Fantasy VII, nothing was talked about. They even had a huge live stream. They talked about their mobile game, which no one cares about.
Didn't you play that? Was it fun?
Yeah, the first day. It was fun for the first day.
That's how it felt like Pokemon Unite,
It's like Wordle.
It was fun for the first day, and then I was like, "No, I'm good."
I do Wordle every day.
It needs to drop on Switch. It needs. I can't. Like for the first year or two, it was fun to play like the little first-person shooters on mobile, but I can't. Now when it gets like to the point of like at least for Soldier, where it was like a mixture of like melee combat, running up walls and stuff. I was like, nah, I can't do this with touchscreen.
You got to get that little Razer controller thing,
Yeah, that's the only way to play that.
You got to come over here to Japan. You need to find one of the players here, because I have seen it. Not for Soldier. I see a lot of people playing mobile games on the trains here in Japan. But I see some people playing like Fortnite and Call of Duty on their phones, and dude, touchscreen in their fingers. I'm just like, how the hell are you doing that?
You got to get those phones with the L1, R1 at the sides.
They're playing 4 matches of Fortnite like on 4 different phones. Right? Like two with their feet and 2 with their hands.
It's crazy.
Like that's a gamer.
The mobile stuff is big though, so I get it.
Yeah.
They got to get that money, right? They got to make that money somewhere. So
one thing I quickly want to. This is totally off topic because I literally just opened up my phone and saw this, but supposedly this is not 100% confirmed yet, but supposedly it looks like Rocksteady's Suicide Squad game is looking to be delayed until 2023.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm gonna say, take all the time you want, Rocksteady. I loved your Batman games. Suicide Squad is probably gonna be amazing. Take your time.
I bet you right now that Suicide Squad is gonna be a lot like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and I'm totally fine with that.
And I'm down with that. Yeah, and I'm down from
with that.
Rocksteady.
Take your time.
But like that's when I said what I meant is like it's delayed. Like take your time.
Yeah, take your time. Seriously, take your time. I don't care. Yeah, doesn't bother me either. So
I just want to play Gotham Knights. That's where I'm at, guys.
Game companies, please understand.
Sometime in 2022, supposedly.
It has been 5 years since Breath of the Wild. I've gotten 2 janky little trailers since then, and I'm still waiting. And I will be happy to wait because I know the next one will be amazing.
Yeah, but just imagine if they had a Switch Pro. We had a little more power.
God, I wish.
One day.
All right.
It'll be
so I
like
think
20,
this is a great
2025.
segue into our final topic, which I know some of you are going to be gushing about. Pokemon Legends, Arceus, whatever you want to call it. I call it Arceus technically because of how it's actually pronounced in Japanese. But regardless,
It's always Arceus.
sorry. Regardless, though, the game has now been out for almost a week. Tomorrow will be a week, at least by my time. And a lot of people have been playing it. And yeah, guys, go. What are your thoughts on it? I got some thoughts too, but I'll let you guys go first. What are your thoughts?
First thought is it's definitely Arceus. But there was this Twitch streamer I saw a video of, and he made an excellent point of why they called it Arceus.
I saw that too.
Because they call it the Arc phone, but if it was Arceus, it would be the Arse phone. And
if you're in the UK,
that's
you ain't getting that if you're like 9. Like your parents are gonna be, Mom, I got called on the arse phone. Oh shit, little William. I was gonna say little Billy, but England would be little William or Williard.
Little Billiam. Yeah, no,
William.
I definitely haven't been able to play it as much as you guys. I just know that, but the little I have played it, it's so fun. It's just so fun. It's so everything that they should have been doing for like a decade now. Because like when you play this game, and I was talking about this with Bobby the other day, and I was like, what it feels like is that they finally sat down and they said, okay, there's something wrong with our formula. What can we do to keep the core of the game while also like completely shuffling it up? And then I just know someone at the table was like, why don't we just follow our catchphrase, which is literally gotta catch them all. Like that is what made Pokemon. And if honestly, like up until Sword and Shield, like this is one thing I liked about Sword and Shield. Up until Sword and Shield, it was boring as hell to go and catch Pokemon. Like there was nothing fun about it. Like you get into these like static battles. There's nothing free flowing about it. It feels like you're just like, I want to get on to the next thing and like go get my gym badge or something. Sword and Shield at least made it fun with the wild zones, right? Like you got to see the Pokemon, you got to do the awesome raids, you know, and like there was something special about it. And it's also why Pokemon Go is still so popular, because literally what do? You just go walk around and you catch Pokemon. They're like, well,
and even Let's Go was them trying something new that felt fresh.
Yes, and that was awesome.
Like, so a lot of people, you know, like crapped all over Let's Go and Sword and Shield. But like both those games like tried something new, and I thought it was a really fun change from the traditional formula.
Yep.
Even Diamond and Pearl remakes, didn't they technically with the Underground and the way that you can actually find that's new to that, isn't
that's
it?
all
Yeah,
new.
so
That's all new. Underground was so boring. I mean, I loved Underground back in the day.
Underground
But like,
is
But I hated mining, so I wasn't a fan.
I liked it because I had friends, so we would like play tag and like set traps and stuff, which I think they took out all that stuff, which sucks.
Yeah, I did.
But that was why it was fun last time. But like now it's like you just go and catch Pokemon that you can see in the overworld, and like that's just so fun. I love seeing Pokemon in the overworld.
Yeah,
well, the thing is, you can do it as the normal way that you would do it for years, right? You walk up, throw the Pokeball, battle, catch the Pokemon, or beat them, right? Or you can go more of a stealth approach, go into the grass, throw some berries, let them eat it, and then you throw the Pokeball from behind, hit their back, catch it like that, all that stuff.
Awesome.
So
it's so cool.
Yeah, it gives you a bunch of different opportunities. Now, it's not perfect. It can still get a little stale here and there, depending on especially in the beginning of the game. I think I've seen that complaint a lot, where the beginning of the game is definitely very grindy.
Tutorial.
The tutorial.
The tutorials is kind of long, and I remember thinking
everybody complained about that I know
is
of.
too long.
Yeah, but the main thing is like, what's cool about it is that the tutorial is really long, but like it's kind of like Breath of the Wild, where it goes like, hey, talk to your rival, right? Up here, you can just walk off to the left or right and go do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is really cool. Like, I think didn't Gale say he didn't even do any of that stuff for like 10 hours?
Something like
He
that,
just went and played like around in the sandbox and caught Pokemon for 10 hours.
I did that for like 2 or 3 hours myself. Yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, I could go do this, but hey, there's some Pokemon over here. I'm gonna go catch them.
Yeah. The moment you got the crafting, it was like, oh, I can go out now? All right.
Yeah.
I'll come back.
Like, I have played in the last week 64 hours, I think. I saved right before we started this. And it has been just like fun. Like it's not like, near like kind of the midpoint where you get like 30 hours into another Pokemon game, you beat the Elite Four, and then you're just kind of walking around going, okay, where can I catch this Pokemon? Where can I get this item? All that stuff. This is like, oh, cool. Like the space-time rift opened in the middle of me catching Pokemon, so I can hop over there and find these really cool rare Pokemon.
Right.
And get a bunch of stuff to get money, and then hop out and go right back to like, oh, I have to catch, 10 Whirlpool unawares or whatever. You know what I mean? Like to max out your Pokedex. It's
and
all
it even
so,
helps with shiny
so
hunting if you're into the shiny hunting game, right? Because if you complete the dex for that particular Pokemon, and then you happen to get it where you have like an outbreak of those Pokemon, you've got a much higher chance of finding those shinies and everything like that. So I know a lot of people love that concept, right? So that's another thing right there for them. So
I have more shiny Pokemon in my hours so far than I've had at any other Pokemon game at this point. Like, except for Let's Go, because you could like literally just stay on a path and find Rattata over and over and easily get that, right? Aside from that, but they made shiny hunting easier, and that like it's so cool to see a shiny. And here's the really cool thing is, right, they also have the alpha Pokemon, and you can get shiny alpha Pokemon if you're lucky enough. Like now that's still like a 1 in 2,000 chance or something, but you could find it, right? Yeah. And you can evolve the alpha Pokemon. Like I caught an alpha Scyther and evolved it into an alpha Cleavor, and I'll probably go catch another one and evolve it to an alpha Scizor. Like
I think there's an alpha for every Pokemon, right?
There is an alpha for every Pokemon.
I thought I read that somewhere, and I was like, wait, what? And then I started seeing like all these alphas of like first form Pokemon, and I was like, wait a minute, so that is true. It's a pretty cool concept, and they're usually
how many Pokemon are even in the game?
230?
I don't know. I think
only
I'm at, like,
130. Wow. Okay.
I'm at like 210 or something. It's like 230. Like I haven't gotten all of the legendaries yet. I haven't gotten every evolution yet.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, because it's funny. They all the past games that always come out you see the people complaining about all the Pokemon are in the Pokedex and everything like that. Not heard one complaint about that from this game because everyone's just simply having too much fun with it.
No, not only that, I just you kind of understand it going in. Right, like they knew everything for this. My biggest complaint about Sword and Shield is that they literally still just took the damn models from Sun and Moon, and it's like, dude, you like if you're just stripping the models, why not just strip everything? Like I know it can fit on this game. When you look at Arceus, and I think one of the things I know we're going to talk about is like the way it looks, right? Like the graphics, like you got to understand, like they're so ambitious that it like the hardware is actually holding this game back. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? I understand. Do I wish there were certain Pokemon in it? Yeah, because like I just love certain Pokemon that I know aren't in the game. But at the same time, I'm like, they did so well with the limited Pokemon they gave us, and like it's just a lot of fun.
It's a good mix. It's a good mix up, I think.
Yeah. Well, one of the cool things is like, it's kind of, there's little parts of Breath of the Wild in there with the Pokemon themselves, in that if you watch certain Pokemon, like a certain type of Pokemon is going to have a personality, right? Like if you're trying to sneak up on a Ponyta, right, to catch it, right? You're going to go and catch it. All of a sudden it'll just run off and it'll start shaking its mane as it's running and run in a big circle and then stop and rear up and then kind of calm down again. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Like, like it makes the game feel alive. It makes the game feel like so much more than a traditional like Pokemon where you walk down a path, you stop by like 10 trainers before you get anywhere new, and then you heal up and then you go to the next path and stop by 10 trainers. Like this is just like go out, explore, find stuff to craft, find Pokemon to catch or fight, right? You can find alphas, you can find shinies, you can do outbreaks, there's legendaries, right? Like all of it just adds up to such a great experience, and so many people have just been raving about this game because it's just pure fun.
It's fresh. It's
new.
It's
fresh.
It's a good refresh.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing as Breath of the Wild. Like people didn't complain
Take a
about
shot for every
Zelda.
time Bobby mentions Breath of the Wild.
Well, I mean, you have to understand in the terms of Pokemon, right? This is their Breath of the Wild. This is their like, hey, we are trying something radically different. 3. I see. They're trying something radically different than anything that they've had before.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that they see it's paying off.
The game was just hitting charts. I was gonna say it's like crazy selling in UK. I remember it was one of the game industry guys was saying that it was like, what was it, like the number one sell it for like for like a single Pokemon game, because some Pokemon games obviously they come out with like 2 different ones or something like that, but it was like reaching like numbers for like I think either the best or like up there with like Pokemon Yellow for like single Pokemon game releases. Like it's in UK retail like only, like that's not including digital, that's just UK. Like this game is on track to hit record breaking numbers for Pokemon, and especially as a single game. So it's doing crazy.
I had never seen, like, it's been a few years since I've gone to a proper, like, I guess, quote unquote midnight release, but like even when I did before the pandemic, it's like, they still did it just because like, their game's releasing, might as well sell it now. But they weren't like big, like for being in the middle of a pandemic, like there was a lot of people waiting for that game. Like at my, like we live in the middle of nowhere. Like, and like there was just a line of people waiting for this game at my local GameStop. It was crazy. I was like, I was worried I actually wasn't going to get one because I didn't pre-order it. I was just like, I'll just buy it the day of and see what happens. It was crazy.
Yeah, I was worried. I was like, I'm hoping this man doesn't come back with no game.
Yeah, no.
I was like, I've heard it's been sold out. Yeah, right. Because I think that was partly like production issues. Whereas Pokemon, they know Pokemon is going to hit numbers every time.
They know it's going to.
So they're like, we're going to make sure we have 10 million physical copies out there in the world for sure on day one, right? Like, so now that's probably why it's easier to find.
Yeah. Now, my hope, though, is that they see this and they say, okay, this is a great start. Now, let's make the equivalent of Uncharted 2 for this game and throw all the money at it. Yeah. Improve the graphics, improve the world, right? Because we already know the characters and the Pokemon obviously got the biggest budget, which was the right call, by the way. I absolutely stand by that. That was the right call. But we cannot deny that they need to improve that. Yep. And unfortunately, you can definitely say the Switch hardware is definitely holding it back. Now, will Nintendo actually make a Switch Pro or anything like that? Hard to say. We would hope so, but it's Nintendo. But regardless, throw all the money at the next game.
Every bit.
The biggest entertainment franchise in the world. They can afford.
They can afford
to throw the money.
Yeah,
at the
I don't want to hear
game.
any. I don't want to hear any excuses. Oh, well, we can't afford this. No, you can easily 100% afford this.
And I don't want a new region. I want Johto. All right. And it needs to be a Legends game again so that Yo-Ho fans can get some W's in here. All right. Because it's exactly
only
who
you then, because the rest of us are going to be going for Lugia.
I will be the first
right here.
I will be the first one to say that Chin brought up a good point that Lugia is a cooler Pokemon in my opinion, but Ho-Oh has a better legend. Like it has a better lore material.
I'm sure they would follow that if they do another Legends title. Like
because like
they did,
they're gonna follow because he's the one that has the bigger like history, right? Is it Ho-Oh versus?
Ho-Oh has the bigger history. Yes.
Yeah, he revived the dogs in the burned tower. Like
he brought them back and made them the legendary dogs.
But they'll incorporate Lugia anyways.
They will, because Lugia is one of the poster Pokemon, right? Like,
of course.
Right.
But you know what's wild? I think this is the first game ever without Charizard.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Because outside of Eevee and Pikachu, Charizard is the other like biggest Pokemon. And you don't see that, but like ever notice that like Charizard is on anytime there's a poster with a ton of Pokemon on it, even if it's like 5 or 10. There's always like an Pikachu,
He's on there.
an Eevee, and a Charizard. Right? Like always. And then there might be a few other ones, but there's always a Charizard because he is like the coolest Pokemon in a lot of people's opinions.
He's a sick dragon. Like I love Charizard,
he's a fire
but
dragon.
Also the fact that they like took him out and like in this game's just like thriving better than any Pokemon game. It's just like you don't always have to put fan favorites. You just gotta like focus on the game. You know what I mean?
Now, obviously, they had Pikachu.
Do you guys think this game will get DLC? Like an expansion like Sword and Shield?
I hope it does. Because Sword and Shield.
I think it will, and I think they will add in maybe some like Kanto Pokemon, right? Maybe some more Johto Pokemon or something.
Or what they'll do is they'll allow you to fly or teleport to a new area. Maybe I mean, heck, set it up like this, right? Set it up where you teleport to an unknown land. Don't even give it a name if you want to, and have that be like the prequel essentially to the next game that will come out and do the Legends Johto or whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah,
like,
lead into
that.
it.
That'd be cool. Really cool.
Lean into it. That'd be pretty
crazy.
Cool. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, hell, we have Cyndaquil as the starter. I mean, not a leap. So. Which, can I just put one thing out there? What the heck is up with Typhlosion, man? That dude is
Yo, I love this
Yeah.
Typhlosion.
We stand
I
Rowlet in
love-
this house.
Dude, I love
love
Typhlosion,
emo
dude. That's the
Typhlosion.
reason I
Emo
picked. That's the
Typhlosion
reason
is
I
the
picked
best.
Cynical, and then I finally evolved them. All right, let's okay. This is the one time I actually stayed away from any of the spoilers for the final evolutions because I knew they're gonna look a little different.
Yeah.
And so I was on my game, sick in bed, unfortunately, but I was playing the game, and I'm like, oh, I can evolve my Quava. I was like, all right, evolve, and I evolved it, and all of a sudden, big grin smile on his face. I'm like, dude looks high as hell.
Yeah, he looks like he just got out of a meeting with Snoop.
He
Like-
does.
He's just like,
Bro, I love him. I love emo Typhlosion. I call him emo Typhlosion because they got like the purple. They got the
The
purple.
purple.
Like the purple like the color.
I mean,
scheme
he
on
looks
it.
Purple
really
colors,
cool. This
flames are
ghostly
purple.
like flames. Don't get me wrong. He looks
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cool like that. But
and if you want the
have you read his
Godfather,
description? Have you guys read his description?
no,
no, I haven't read it.
His
no.
description was like he passes off like the souls of like dead Pokemon to the next or something like that. And I was like, damn, they really went in with his like
man's the
description
Grim
in this
Reaper.
timeline of
or
whatever
he
this is supposed to
really
take
did
place.
he really did just get out of a meeting with Snoop and is just making up some random.
I think I'm entitled to go with that one.
I,
What's
to go
interesting to
with
see though is, oh god,
Oh no, I'm just saying. Like I love the evolutions. I had to go with Rowlet, dude. That the Ronin Samurai at the end, like,
Yeah,
dude.
I didn't like it at first.
I
but you know what?
yeah, I was
After-
gonna say
after
like, look
looking
how
at
they
it
massacred
in-game-
my boy. But yeah, in game it
Yeah,
actually
in
like
game,
comes
when you
off
look at
much
it,
better.
It's a lot better than the stupid leaks that got. Like I ended
Yeah.
up getting like destroyed by someone posting up the leaks on my timeline. So that's how I saw it, and I was like, ooh, I don't know how I'm gonna like this. But obviously, in game, things are gonna look way better than when you see it on whatever.
Question, because
picture.
I haven't gotten this far. Do Dialga and Palkia really look like that, like the leaks?
Hey! I haven't
Yeah.
gotten that far either.
Oh, okay.
I haven't got.
Okay,
I
yeah.
haven't
That's fair
really
enough.
looked.
We
I
can
mean,
say that.
They do.
we can
They
say
do.
that.
Yes, they do. They look like that. You can change. You can change it though.
Oh.
but they do look like that.
okay, interesting.
All right,
Okay.
that's good enough. No more of that.
No more of that.
So wait, let me ask you guys a question. Because obviously we are in the I guess I'll say majority. I think it's majority. We are in the majority that love Legends, and we like where it's going. We like the crafting. We like the cool new battles where you get to kind of walk around. I mentioned this on Twitter. It's one of my favorite things to do. They've added in so many cool little changes of like these little quality of life things. Obviously we like a lot of this stuff, but there is of course the vocal minority. I'm going to say minority because I've seen way more positivity than I've seen negativity. But there is that vocal minority that's like, give me my traditional Pokemon. I don't like this. I don't
Really?
like these changes. I like my wild grass. I like the random approach, the random encounters. I like my trainer battles. I love my evil organization. I love that Pokemon. So I'm curious to you guys, do you think, is there a world where they continue the mainline Pokemon the way that it is,
This is a
and then
mainline
Legends as a separate thing, or do you think it's possible that they just there's so much positivity and happiness with it that they just override and they they maybe don't even continue with the Legends, but they take what they done with Legends and they make the mainline series like this.
I think what they're
go
gonna
buy
do
Diamond
is
and Pearl then, if that's what people want. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I got two thoughts on this. So I don't think the traditional way of doing Pokemon games is quote unquote dead. My thought is that simply they're gonna do the remakes of because they still have Black and White, they still have X and Y, they have technically they could do Sword and Shield eventually down the road, right? If they wanted to.
Yeah.
They're gonna do those. So that way of playing a Pokemon game is not dead. I mean, that makes them money. That makes them tons of money.
Yeah.
Look at how well Sword or Diamond and Pearl sold, right?
Yep.
They're not gonna stop that. But I think but they're gonna hand it off to that other development team that made those games, right?
Ilka,
and
right?
Game
Ilka.
Freak
Yeah,
is
I
gonna
think it's
focus
Ilka.
on this. Now, is this game perfect? By no means, no. I definitely would like a few more trainer battles. I can definitely agree with that. Not so much in the fact of like, oh, I'm running around randomly and then boom, I get the exclamation point above the head or anything like that. But have some more trainer stuff. Do a battle tower type thing if you want. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have some more trainer battles. I 100% understand that. Add a few more Pokemon in if you want to, or it has some different areas or whatever the case is, right? I 100% get that. But if you're really into the random rolls with the grass and everything, it's still in this game. It's just that it's not in the grass. You literally see them now.
Yeah, you see your rolls.
So I don't see that argument really. It's just like, I want my random grass encounters. Okay, you do. Go into that area, and if you see the Pokemon, try and catch it.
Yeah.
If you don't, you gotta redo it again. You still have to re-roll and do all that stuff. So what? Because you can't physically you got the dopamine thing going.
They don't like change. Some people just don't like change. They like to keep things the same.
It's like people who are hoping that like Final Fantasy goes back to that exact same like battle encounters where it does little battle animation and stuff, and it's like that's dead. That's just not. That's not what it will ever be. It's not what it should be either, right? Like if you really think about that style, to me, that feels like that was like a technological thing holding them back, and they're like, how do we get things into battles? How do we move on?
That was
the
thing that we did. That was the thing that we did once upon a time, for like 12 years, and we've learned to move on and try something new.
Also,
so
if they really want this from Pokemon, they have like 25 years of games to go and play and go and enjoy. You know what I mean? So it's like I get it, but I don't. I don't.
Well, okay. To be fair, though, it served its purpose at its time. It was good during the time. It's not saying that it was a bad concept at the time or anything like that. It was good. It was fun, and it served its purpose.
Yeah.
But things grow and evolve, just like humanity does, just like our history has shown, obviously. And if you don't move and evolve with that, then
you die.
You're gonna get left behind, unfortunately. Yeah, you don't. Okay, put a little dark there, but regardless,
but like the game would die, right? Like if they didn't, shake it up.
Eventually, it would.
I mean,
eventually,
it might not
would
die because people are going to buy it regardless. But I do think it was. I think them doing it means a lot. I think Game Freak and Pokemon Company, Nintendo coming together and being like, it's time to switch it up. That means a lot. I feel like because that means that they could have easily have done this as the same old traditional formula, and guess what? We all would have probably bought it.
We would have bought it.
It's like it says a lot that they themselves are finally making that jump because maybe it's just Game Freak being like, you know what? Hey, we're kind of bored of doing the same thing. How do you we're going to pitch this idea to you? We like what we did with Go, or we like how Go went. We like aspects of Sword and Shield. We want to come up and we're pitching this idea. Like I feel like it means a lot, and this is why all of us here really do we're positive about it, is because it is a big thing for them to switch up the moneymaker formula of what they've had for years to go for something like this. Because a lot of people could not have liked this, but look, from what I can see, we can all see, people are loving this. So I think it is a good thing to see that like they more or less they recognize the change. Then they're the ones that are finally doing something like this. So it is a pretty big thing.
I
think too it's just I'm surprised that people thought it would go back, especially because if you play Sword and Shield, especially with the DLC, like the wild area was the future of what they were going to do. Right. And like, that's exactly what they were going to do. Like I get it. I understand where people love that like JRPG feel, that classic collection JRPG, get into like battles and things like that. Cause Sword and Shield still had that, right? They had the wild area, but you still went into battle with that Pokemon and it like came into a cutscene.
Yeah. It was still it still had a lot of
But at the same time, like you can still get that traditional feel if you just throw your Pokeball first, and then it goes into that battle mode. You know what I mean? Like it's still there. The essence of Pokemon is still like
it's so much better
built into the game. It's way better. It's just way better.
Play. It is. But the thing is, if you like that more traditional sense of how to play it, you can literally play that exactly the same way you always see a Pokemon, throw a Pokeball, go
fight it.
That's all you got to do. Or you can go about it the other ways. So I think people who are saying that are either maybe saying it just to get some attention on the internet, like pretty much anyone does any day, or for the people who truly do think that, maybe you're not past the tutorial, maybe you haven't actually really delved into the game that much. Keep playing it, delve into it a little bit more, and see how it truly feels. If you don't like it, then that's fine. It's not for you, I guess. But they'll keep doing the remakes with the other company that made Diamond and Pearl. They got your back on that one, probably.
Certain they'll keep going with the.
Come on, 2 games coming out, make tons of money like that. Yeah, it's money.
How far back are these releases too? They come out in November. Diamond and Pearl remakes came out in November. Damn it, this is like 2 months, and it's crazy how much it sold. So like, that's that formula. If this is their new formula, right, with like the whole Legends and then still doing the remakes or whatever. Man, they got just another moneymaker formula right there. They just replaced something old and brought in something new.
2 months between giant Pokemon games. That's insane.
Yeah, like that's crazy. That's three Pokemon games at that.
It's funny too, because like after don't want to spoil, right? But after playing through all of the main story of Arceus so far, like I know exactly why they re-released Diamond and Pearl, right? Because you're in ancient Sinnoh, right? And there's like characters and stories and stuff in Arceus that like
That
if you play Diamond and Pearl,
you're gonna
makes
notice who they are.
sense, and you're gonna notice
you'll
it's like
recognize,
little. It's just full of little Easter eggs.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm only like, I think I beat this quote unquote third boss or something like that. The volcano area, if you know what I'm talking about. Like by now I've seen so many characters. I'm like, wait a minute, weren't you in Diamond and Pearl? But you were a good guy. You were a bad guy. You were this. You were. And I was like, okay,
Team Galactic, right? Like literally the first.
Yeah, it's Galaxy Team, right?
My favorite
like
line is
Cyrus,
like, you
but,
galactic
like,
grunt.
with
And I was
boobs.
like, I know that line.
You're a gender bent Cyrus. This is weird.
Right.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Overall, I think
cool.
it's safe to
a
say.
cool formula.
Overall, I think it's safe to say that Pokemon, they took a chance and it
paid off.
It paid off, and like I cannot stop playing this game.
Yeah.
And Dying Light 2 is going to come out, and I told Trocho I'm going to help write a review on that, so I'm going to have to stop playing this game.
You still have to write our review for this game.
I
so
know I do.
Get on it.
Let me get past like
Make sure
my
you sub to the
70
channel,
hour.
guys. We have our first impressions out already. Check that out in the top right. But we've got our full review coming up that LittleBobby here is going to be writing. And don't know who's going to record it, but one
Probably
of us will.
me or something.
Probably Chen. Yeah.
Probably
Okay.
me.
There we go.
Probably me or
Right.
something.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay. One of you guys, whatever. It is what it is.
So get Pokemon Legends Arceus. That's
Yeah,
pretty much what
get
we're
it.
saying.
Just get it.
Aside from graphics.
Yeah, just start the
get
video.
it.
All right, guys.
get
So we're
it.
going to give her a full review. Buy the game. Okay.
Yeah, that'll just be it'll be like a
I don't even need a
YouTube
review
short.
now.
Yeah, no, we're gonna make it a YouTube short. It's just gonna be Chin. He was like, buy it,
Buy it.
and it stops.
Buy
12
it.
seconds.
Oh my god! All right. Any other thoughts, guys, on the game? We've been fanboying over it a little bit. I'm sure
For a
someone
while.
in the comments is gonna be like,
No, love it, love it, love it, love it.
No,
love it.
I'm
It's
pretty.
good.
I think I've said all I can say.
Yep.
Yeah.
all right. All right, guys. Well, I think with that being said, then we're going to end the podcast here. We hit about the usual time that we usually do. But thank you so much for everyone at home for watching the 5-9 Waypoint podcast. Make sure you sub to the channel if you haven't already. Leave a like if you like the podcast. We've got tons of others as well coming up in the future. And also we've had, this is only our 4th one, but we've had 3 others. If you haven't caught those already, go ahead and check either in the description below or in the top right corner. Gotta always do the opposite side of the finger and everything. But regardless, hope you guys enjoyed. Any last words from you guys before we head off?
February is a busy month.
Yes,
Everyone's a
it is.
busy month. It is. Oh my
Scary.
God.
Yeah.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
Pain for the
Yeah.
wallet. Just pain.
If you think you have nothing to play, you got plenty. You're gonna have plenty to play come
I
February.
want Sifu,
my
man.
God.
I want Sifu.
Oh
I
my
want
God.
Sifu, Dying Light 2, Horizon, Elden Ring, Destiny.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, I want all of those.
Witch Queen DLC, Horizon, Elden. Oh my God, dude. I'm not ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait on
No,
some
I'm
games.
not
I'm
ready.
a little broke.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait on buying them, but
Eventually.
hopefully we can get the reviews out.
Eventually.
We'll get them out. Don't worry. At least some impressions at first, and then we'll
Yeah.
review. So
If we have
All
to
right.
wait, we have to wait.
yeah, it is what it is. But hey, you know what? It makes a better review, right? You get to delve into the game more and everything. So again, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell as usual, so you guys can get notified the moment we upload. So anyway, guys, I've been Tallen with Finding Gaming Direct, again joined by Lethal, LittleBobby, and the PlatinumChin, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Johnny.
Take it easy, y'all.
Peace out.